last Thursday, me and a mate got back from a little journey that paddling around Britain. Now I've got about 15 hours of video and about 400 photographs, but the good news is I'm not going to show any of those tonight, otherwise it'll be into midnight. But what I thought I would do, Deb's asked me along, and Max just said, would I come and do a few minutes talk and just let people ask some questions and have a bit of interaction. The good news, kids, is that I've got lots of prizes. Most of those have got lots of sugar in, so parents, I'm sorry. Just before they go to bed, but it's great, lots of jelly babies, lots of sugar. So you have to listen carefully and ask me as many questions as you like. So you get more prizes the more questions you ask, and I don't mind how crazy the questions are. Is that okay? All right. Now, before I do start, I do need a couple of volunteers. I've got lots of kit over here. Does anybody want to dress up in some of the kit or sit in the kayak? All right. Well, I tell you, wow, lots of volunteers. Well, I tell you what, how about you three? As you got your hands up, and you in that lovely rainbow-coloured top. Fantastic. Come and dress up in some kit. And you can take it in turns. You sit in the kayak if you like. Now, who wants to do this? You want to sit in the kayak? You sit in the kayak. Now, do you want to wear this? I've got all the safety gear in it. I want to wear my hat. That's a very special kayaker's hat. Silly, that protects you from lightning, rain, and everything else. And there's boots there, and that's not bad, is it? Right. So this is a little journey. Tanya and I, my wife, we gave up life in London about a year and a half ago, and one of the things I wanted to do when I took a bit of a break was take on a bit of a personal challenge, and I didn't quite have this one in mind, and it was one of those ones that, you know, when you're down the pub and you've had a few beers and you're with a mate, and it started with, shall we just paddle down the south coast, and then by the end of the evening, and after about 6 or 7 beers, it turned into, let's paddle around Britain. So we did. So this is the obviously Britain. The red line is where we went. This was about the sophistication of our route planning on the way. But essentially, we left from Port Scaffer at the harbour on the 1st of May, just down the bottom of the hill. Turned right and kept going. 115 days and 92 days paddling. I could have probably chosen a better summer. So we had quite a few days off the water and quite a few sodden ones. Out of that, I think we managed only to succumb to a B&B or a hotel 9 nights out of the 115. The rest of the time, we've got 2 little friends over there. I'm sitting on top of the bivvy bag, which we spent most of the nights in. Well, I say we had one each. It was probably just an absolutely incredible experience. So the wildlife we saw, the scenery, and just amazing people we met on the way around. It was just unbelievable. So now, have we got any sea kayakers here, or any kayakers? Because I did see a couple of boats on the campsite and I thought, oh no, I'm going to get some detailed technical questions. Are those your sea kayaks you saw in the car? Okay, thanks for that. Well, I do like yours, and I'm sure you're a much better kayaker than mine. Now that I've brushed you up the right way, I don't want any difficult questions. So you've been kayaking around the coast here? It's fantastic around Cornwall, isn't it? That's brilliant. Well, the boats we use are specialist touring boats. They're sea kayaks. They can either come in they're either plastic or they're fiberglass layup with a gel coat on the top, which is a bit like sailing yachts, and that's how these are built. They weigh about 26 kilograms when they're empty. When they're expedition filled, they weigh about 80 kilos. So one of the big challenges you have when there's only 2 of you paddling most of the way around is just handling these boats up and down the beach. Some of the longest carries we had were about half a mile, so carrying these for half a mile, one at a time, is quite hectic. They've got 3 watertight hatches in them, so we take absolutely everything with us. So sleeping bags, stoves, repair kit, all your clothes. Tanya was horrified when I was packing the kit, because I put it away put my shore clothes into a dry bag about that big, and that was my clothes for 4 months. So, first prize, how many pairs of underpants, kids, did I take? 2.
150.
150? No!
15.
Or 15? And lower. 2. 2. Slightly higher. Was it? Hand it back there. 20. No, lower than that. Between 2 and 20. Between 3 and 20. We're getting close. No, between 15 and 3. Between 10 and 3. 7 and 3. We're getting close. We'll finish sometime tonight. In the purple.
5.
Oh, between 5 and 3. Okay, adults, over to you. 4. Tanya, prize for her. Get your hand in there.
So whoever here doesn't think that's gross.
So we were out.
You can smell them.
Before we went, we talked to a lot of people who'd done big expeditions and explorers, and we met this guy who actually was an Arctic explorer, and he said merino wool, either that or nylon underpants. He said because in the cold anyway, and it was pretty cold this summer, wasn't it? They get away with wearing one pair over a month, and literally back to front, inside out, and you're laughing. Now we didn't have to do that. We did have 4 pairs each. But the merino wool, it's great, I tell you, and everything. I tell you, I'm going to wear it on shore now. I don't have to shower anymore. But there's another prize. How many showers? We were away for 16 weeks. How many showers did we have? In the hooped hoodie top. No, you. Yeah, you. None. A little bit higher. 1. No, more higher than that. Sorry, I have the chap in the blue behind you. 6. A little bit more than 6. 8. Getting close. No, a little bit higher.
9.
9.
10.
No.
11.
Higher. 15. Very, very close. In fact, it was 15 and 1 bath. Right. So have yourself to a prize. So actually, one of the interesting things was. It probably took, one of the guys we were with actually was in the army, and I think he was pretty used to living outside and looking after all your kit and looking after your body when you're in a pretty harsh environment all the time. It took us, the other 2 of us, a couple of weeks to get used to it, but you do go feral. You do get used to living outside, and you used to living outside. So 1 bath a week, 1 shower a week generally, but we used to have what was called a posh wash. Do you? I can't believe that, you've got showers. So we'd have a posh wash. I couldn't introduce to a posh wash. So heat up a little pan of water, and most nights we slept on harbour walls, or we slept under boats in boat yards. Where else we slept? Car parks, beaches, sea defences, you name it, we've slept. And after a while, it's incredible how used to it you get. And we did have some very strange experiences. The worst thing would be to pitch up somewhere where there might be some young people who were drinking, having a bit of a party, who would keep you up all night. And yet, the funniest night we had was probably about to cross Morecambe Bay the next day, and then we were bivvying down next to our kayaks, and this car pulled up. And I thought, oh, here we go. Lots of loud music going. I thought, gosh, we're never going to get any sleep tonight. And this guy got out, obviously wanted to go and have a pee somewhere, so he was as he was walking up slightly worse than there, said, oh look, kayaks! At which point I just sat up, and he just got the fright of his life. Screamed, said, oh my God, somebody's come out of the ground! And he jumped in his car and shot. So actually, amazingly, we got no bother whatsoever with people wherever we stayed. We didn't get moved on once. We did get woken up by 2 very nice police women one night, but that's another story. So who can say? So we went all the way around the coastline. Generally kept the islands to our left-hand side and kept the mainland to our right. So we didn't do any extra mileage. So we said we'd only do mainland route. But we did go past, of course, the southernmost, the northernmost, the easternmost, and westernmost points in Britain. So for 4 prizes, who can give me any of those? Adults may need to help at this point. Sorry, you chat there with the red thing on. That's you? Yeah, you. Yeah. Sorry. There's one very close to here, just over there. You can almost see it. I didn't catch that. You might be right. Nope. John O'Groats, very close to John O'Groats, but not quite. So John O'Groats up here. Next to it is, actually it's a place called Dunnet Head. You're so close. That's pretty good. Prize is good. Right, so that's the northernmost. What about the southernmost? Very close. It's in Cornwall. Well done. Visit point. What about the easternmost? Do you know which one's the easternmost? So it's just around here. Oops, I can't reach it. It's just about there. You should know. Don't you live there, or used to live there?
I don't need any sweets.
Oh, okay. So, anybody know? Any of the adults know the easternmost? Very close, but no. Skegness, no. Sorry? Great Yarmouth, very close to Great Yarmouth, a bit further north. Come and have a look at that then.
What does it begin with?
Lowestoft, well done. Okay, it's the last one's in Scotland, bit of a clue, it's the westernmost. Who said Abergavenny? That's in Wales. There it is there. Where's that? Point. That's it, we're just near on. Well done. Prizes.
What was it? What was it? What's the answer?
Right.
What was the answer?
It's just next to Ardnamurchan Point.
With a bunch of mates and travel all around the islands with nothing but paddles and a few pieces of underwear. Is there somebody behind the man? Is there some infrastructure at home going on? Are there other people involved in this mission?
They're in Tanya. Tanya is involved in this mission over there.
Hey.
And yeah, we couldn't have done it without our other halves, that's for sure. Yeah, so lots of support and emotional and otherwise. Yeah, no, it was awesome. But actually, I'm surprised none of the kids have asked us how we go to the toilet. But that's usually the question. Vanessa? Where's Vanessa? Did you have a question?
Yes.
We've got a question over here from Vanessa.
Okay, everybody, this is the question.
Excuse me, how do you go to the loo?
Vanessa wants to know how we go to the loo when we're in the kayaks. Does anybody else want to know that? Yeah. Okay. Well, it's funny. When we were on Holy Island, we bumped into a class of school children. I think the ages were about sort of 8 to 10. And we were getting lots of serious questions. And there was one little girl who looked at me straight in the eyes and asked exactly that, which is how do you go to the loo when you're at sea? Well, what you do is, sorry, what's your name? Tom. So you see Tom sitting in a boat there, and he's got the spray deck over him, so that stops all the water going in. And when you want to go to the loo, you just pull the spray deck off, and you have a bottle. And luckily for blokes, it's a little bit easier, and you just go in a bottle and then tip it over the side and put the spray deck on. Now, if it's really rough, then what you might do is get your friend to come up the front of the boat, and he leans across his boat and onto yours and holds onto it, trying to stop the waves filling up your kayak as you have a wee. And is this enough detail? Yeah. Okay, no, and he'll hold the bottle for you. No. Now the next question that little girl went on to ask was,
Ned's actually got burnt
How do you poo? But I'm not going to answer that one. Any other questions?
How do you poo?
Well, you do it on land in the toilet. Well, most of the time.
What do you do if it is on land in the toilet?
Then what you do, the environmentally sensitive thing to do is below the high water tide and clearly above the low water tide, otherwise you get wet. And then you bury it, and the tide takes it away.
What did you eat?
We ate as much as we could and as often as we could, so we probably ate about between 4,500 and 5,000 calories a day.
Did you go to McDonald's?
Never! No, never! We did eat lots of cream teas though. Lots of cream teas. Yeah. White creatures like them. And about and about 120 to 150 bacon rolls, I think, as well.
What was the worst seas you were in?
We had well, we had a few scary moments. Where was it? Carmarthen Bay. We ended up on sandbanks in a 4-6 and some very steep, nasty-looking waves that threatened to take us sideways. So we were kind of glad to get off the water that day. Cape Wrath. We had 5 and 6 metre swells coming from the north and from the east and clapped us against the cliffs. So there was occasional moments when I was looking up there and Jeff was about 30 feet higher than me, and then I was up 30 feet higher than him, and nowhere to put your paddle down because you were on the top of a pyramidic wave because they bounce off the cliffs and come down.
Did you get knocked down? Did you get knocked up?
We didn't capsize, except someone was asking earlier. We did capsize in the surf. I capsized in 3 feet of water, so which was a bit embarrassing. So I didn't even bother rolling up. I just climbed out and walked. So, but that was. But otherwise, no. So we had there was some scary. I found another scary moment. We thought they were all done with. But I mean, Britain's got some of the most challenging tidal conditions in the world. I guess we thought we'd got over all the difficult bits, and then about 60 miles up the coast, there's Hope Cove. There's a beautiful little area, and there's just on the corner of Hope Cove. There's it's literally just a right angle. You turn in, and for about an hour during the ebb tide, there's some really quite large overfalls. Yeah, and we didn't know about that, and we kind of came around the corner. It was the end of a 30-mile day, and we'd had enough.
Is that the one you were talking about?
Just paddle through it. So I paddled through it and got stuck there for about 10 minutes and couldn't get out. So, but we got through it eventually. But we did come off the water slightly trembling that night.
That's the one. Those in your blog you talked about.
What was your best moment apart from coming into Port Scaffer Bay?
That's a good question. I'm not sure there's any one single best moment, but I can give you a few. So crossing the Bristol Channel and getting to the other side, and then getting into Scotland. And we arrived in Scotland. We kind of, my fault. I got the tides wrong, and we knew we were going to headwind, but we had headwind and 2.5 knot flow against us most of the way across the Mull of, no, hang on, I've forgotten what it was called now. It'll come back to me. But we, and when we landed about 12:30 at night, and it had just about gone dark. So that was a great feeling. And we opened up the bottle of whiskey and had a very large slug. So that was very nice. And actually, after we got round Cape Wrath, and that was quite a stressful few hours, but we got to a campsite in Durness, and when you go around Cape Wrath, there's 260-foot cliffs and then a 60-foot lighthouse at the top of it, and we just about managed to sort of have a look up as we were kind of balancing on these waves. Pulled into Durness campsite, and this guy came over with 2 mugs of tea. And he said, "I'm the lighthouse keeper at Cape Wrath. You deserve these," because I watched you come round, and that was just brilliant. That was just fabulous. So and then he also said, by the way, your wife loves you, because Tanya had phoned up the cafe next door to Cape Wrath and said, tell my, if my husband pops in, tell him I love him. And he relayed the message. I thought that was just amazing. So that was probably the best moment.
Hello, mate.
I think, are we done, Matt? I think we are. So happy to answer any more questions over a beer. Sorry? I probably am. I'm not going to promise a classic, but it'll be a story anyway.
Did you take video cameras?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
BBC, Channel 4.
Did the film crew meet you at any spots that were there? You know, the film crew that were there when you left. Did they meet you at any spots?
Yeah, they did. They left us about 4 or 5 shots on the way around, so they're putting a final documentary together. So.
Fantastic. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I don't know whether they'll definitely get anywhere, so we'll see.
Doesn't matter. Get to us and we can get it out there, can't we?
Yeah, true.
Absolutely. We'll show it down the Harbour Club.
How about a big hand for Andy Mullins?